Your least favorite word in the English language and one of the most famous words in Texans history. It's Rosencopter. And I checked Twitter on Sunday, Sage, and I see you post during the Falcons championship game. Welcome to the Helicopter Club, Julio. What do you remember about that Colts game? And I'll just remind everybody that you were starting. You had the Texans up by 27-10. Colts, they would score a TD with about 4 minutes left to get within 10. And then the infamous play. What do you remember about that whole thing?
Well, we could probably go back and do an entire podcast, on that game, on that play, the entire day. I mean, there's a lot that, of course, I remember about it. And I will say, and I think people who do follow me on Twitter do recognize that I don't mind making fun of myself. It is something that happened in my life. It's not something that I'm ashamed of. I decided to go for it. And it backfired. And again, sort of going back to what I said before, as a backup third string guy, your natural predisposition is not to slide. Sort of sliding's for the wimps, sliding's for the starters who are making $20 million a year. I'm trying to earn my stripes out here, earn respect to my teammates, and I decided to go for it, and obviously it backfired. So I mean, there's a lot of things I can remember about that day. I mean, Matt Schaub was supposed to be the starter, obviously. He got ill in the middle of the night with some sort of flu or something. I came down to breakfast, at 8:00, and I was told that I'm probably going to start, that Schaub is really sick. So end up starting that day. I believe we were 0-3 at the time going into the game. I probably played the best game of my life up to that point, through the first 56 minutes of that football game. And as you said, the Colts scored to bring them within 10. There was 4.5 minutes left, something like that. And they onside, and we got the onside. And we had about a third and, if I recall, about a 3rd and 7 situation. And Kubiak called a bootleg out of sort of a heavy tight end package. And you're expecting us probably just to run the football and punt the ball on 3rd down and back up Peyton Manning inside his own 10-yard line. But he called a pass play, and to be honest with you, I was like, man, I wish we'd just run the football here. But okay, let's do this thing. And I came around that left end, and all I saw was green grass, and no one was there. And I was like, I can run for this first down. My natural thought when I went to the line was, if I can run, I'm going to run. I want to keep that clock moving. So even if I don't get a first down, the clock will keep moving for another, 35 or 40 seconds. And so as I was running and coming around the bend there, and once I made that decision to run for the first down, I can't remember what player it was. I think his name was Marlon Jackson, was a cornerback who was covering Owen Daniels on that play. He actually came off Owen once I sort of tucked the ball and let him go. And I think Owen ended up being pretty much wide open and came up, to make the tackle. And rather than, of course, trying to juke him, which really wasn't part of my skill set, I decided to jump over him, which was obviously a bad idea. And didn't see Dwight Freeney and another defensive lineman, chasing me from behind, and it would end up being the infamous Rosencopter. So, at this point, I and not long after that, probably that following off season, I said, I decided to go for it. Things didn't work out, but what I can teach my kids and my son and my daughters in life is that I'd always rather have you go for it, because sometimes you fail. But people that don't go for it never accomplish anything. So I'm happy I went for it. I wish I would have just hung on to the football.
How long did it take you to have a sense of humor about the whole thing?
It took me a while. I mean, I will say that that play, that was that 2008 season where I did not play as well as the 2007 season, which I went 4-1. And that play did have an effect on me the rest of the year. I felt tentative. I felt cautious. I felt like I was going to screw it up. We were playing the Cleveland Browns later on that season in nasty weather, and we were in, again, a sort of a similar situation, and I just wanted to hand the ball off. I was sort of, my mindset wasn't the regular aggressive quarterback that I'd always had been in the past. We came to the end of that game, we're up by about 10 or so points, and I just wanted to hand the ball off, and again, Kubiak called a pass play and ended up going to Andre Johnson, and Andre was open and ended up hitting him. But I remember at the time, like, just nervous, just naturally nervous that something bad was going to happen because of what happened earlier in that season.
You're listening to Houston Sports Talk.